Thank you, Tenbi. I'd now like to introduce Mr. Zhu Tingwu. Mr. Zhu is President of the China Animal Husbandry Group and Deputy Party Secretary of the Communist Party of CAHG. Mr. Zhu graduated from Nanjing Agricultural University with a bachelor's degree in veterinary science and obtained an MBA from the University of International Business and Economics. He also holds a senior veterinary officer certificate. Thank you.
Dear Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, very happy to meet here. And I speak in English, just make time quicker. And my topic is China Agriculture International, but for time, only briefly. Next page. Yes, first I introduce about China. And China is an amazing country, it is a great country, and a huge population. That's the total population, near 1.4 billion. So for the GDP, second is the world. And also for forest, is about 21%, and for the land. And for the acre land, that is not enough, only 7%. But service for the 20% of people in the world. Next. China, according to its big land, and in lots of China, just 1 year, one harvest. In the middle of China, some is 1 year, one harvest. That's in the west. But in the east, sometimes 2 years, 3 harvest, or 1 year, 2 harvest. But in the south China, there are 2. One. Is 1 year, 2 harvest. Even in the south, and 1 year, 3 harvest. Next. Yeah, that's next. And this last year, China livestock and poultry production. And for meat, that is a medium term. For the meat production is 85.4. And for the poultry egg, and include the chicken, goose, and duck, total is 30 million ton. And for the milk, it's a lot more, only 36 million ton. For the aqua, it's 69. This is number 1 in the world. And this is the map to show, and China compared to the world. For average meat consumption for Chinese people, that's over the international standard. And for the poultry, also is higher than international standard. For the aqua, also higher than international standard. But only milk is on the 1/3 of the consumption of the international. That means big difference for the milk consumption in China. Next. So this is the for the dairy, the world, the China, the Asia, and North America and Europe, and you can see, and North America, just Canada and the United States is, and Europe is the highest. New Zealand is similar to this average, even a little higher than Europe, and but China is still very low, and Asia. Average, even more than China. Next. This is for the importation, because China have a huge population. Every year we need a huge animal protein and plant protein. So for the wheat and the corn and the rice and the barley and the sorghum, so every year we import huge quantity. And the number 1 is soybean. That's every year need 83 or 84 million tons. It's a huge quantity. This is for the animal protein, is for the pork, and also swine offshore, and beef and mutton, lamb. And every year we also import, and for US dollar, that's 9.37 billion US dollar for this meat. For the dairy importation, and also is very high, and we import the liquid milk and milk powder, whey powder, and infant milk powder. That's all we import in the 1.9 million tons. China have a big population. How to, for the people, how to keep their life? And there are 3 key items. One is the policy plus science. And the China government pay much more attention to the agriculture and the countryside and farmers. And China, for science and technology, is advantaged in the world. So in China, we have 68 high-level universities or colleges, include 3 universities. They have just the Agri College. And top 4 is the China Agricultural University, Nanjing Agricultural University. This is my mother university, and Huazhong, and not just and North West Agricultural University. And so every year, China have a huge students graduate from agri area. In my opinion, is number 1 in the world. And so in China, for normally so-called main food is rice and the wheat and the corn. But now we put potato as a main food. Why? Because in North China or Northwest China is shortage of water. Then, and for the potato can produce some more. Also, potato is a very special farm. Just it shelf life for the potato powder can keep over 15 years. This is why China. So from last year, we can put the potato as a main food. Now, China in the north, some area use the potato to make even noodle. Next. Another China is very special, is so-called sea rice. China is in the west of the Pacific Ocean. So we have a big land for the sea beach. So, and our famous professor, Mr. Yuan Longping, is crossbreeding with the rice, is a father. And his sea rice, and the harvest is very high. And according to Chinese Mo, even can over 900 kilos. And for 15 Mo equal to the 1 acre. So that means if we use the sea beach area, we can keep 200 million Chinese people can have food. So it can meet people's requirement. Next. Another is for the North and the West China have a big desert area. And so China have we can use 300 New Zealand dollar can change in the desert, become the normal land. Also can have a good harvest. So, and for China, one, we just plant ourselves and produce ourselves. Second, we depend on the international for importation. Next. So this is the top 10 Chinese products, and also New Zealand top 10 and agri products. We can do them compare. Mainly is different. This is why China can go in the world or go in the New Zealand to invest. Also, New Zealand also can invest in China, such as Fonterra. Fonterra is a famous dairy company. They also invest in China. Last is briefly introduce our company. Our company is state company, just focus on the agriculture area. Next. And we are number 1 animal health and animal nutrition in China. Also our horse business, honey business, dairy business, and grass business, and is top in China. Next. And why we invest in New Zealand? And because according to the feed conversion rate, and on the dairy milk use less resources, can changing more animal protein for the milk is number one. Next. So this is from 1980, we import a huge quantity of dairy cattle, this for breeding, and goods, and quickly. If you like to listen, I can continue. And we also import a lot of the breeding animals, dairy, and the meat, and the fruits from New Zealand. Next. So we invest in the South Island, in the Gore area near Queenstown. This is called the Matalaveni milk, produce the whole milk powder, skim milk powder, and infant milk powder. And in Hamilton, we produce infant milk powder. The company is called Botco. We also bought another famous brand that's called Nuris. It is a sponsor for All Blacks. That's is famous in New Zealand. So China and New Zealand is different. Well, this different make two countries can cooperate very well. Such as now, Beijing is very cold. Here is very warm, it's beautiful. So this can meet the different requirements for both two countries. Next. So our company also is the #1 horse company. We have over 2,000 horses. And only welcome you, come China, and we can do some more cooperation. We will do the more investment in New Zealand. Thanks.